An excerpt from the letters of Lieutenant Samnail Evergrace, aide-de-camp to Commander Azar, born of Draknor, leader of the Constant Legion. This is one of those nights where I sit down to write to you, and I cannot find the words. What do I say that I have not said twice over in words better and worse than these? Will these letters even reach you? Any of them? Maybe you've read them all. Maybe just a handful. A story with whole chapters torn out from the middle. We've lost so many, sister. The Legion used to be 1,000 guns strong. And now every rookie's death feels like the loss of a limb. Suddenly, there's one fewer person on watch, one more empty bed, and the rest of us have to keep working anyway. Keep fighting. Keep making the Legion function. Otherwise, it all falls apart. I'm so tired. I'm tired of feeling this way. Of having to pretend that I don't, just so that I can do my job. A job that feels more and more meaningless every day. A job interrupted only by restless sleep and by writing letters to a sister that doesn't even know if I'm still alive. I don't even know if you... What are we gonna do? Your mission this week came to you in a little different a fashion. A lot of times, Samnail will investigate opportunities from a variety of sources, from personal agents, contacts in the local area. In this situation, there is a particular contact that reached out to the Legion once it arrived. That contact is an Arcadian noble. An Arcadian noble that is old, but well-respected, vigorous, but calm and cautious to take action. His name is Von, born of Renwall, and he is the father of Commander Azar.
Dad.
I knew that.
And we have a mission to get to, but I want to put that on the table in case that there's stuff in particular that Azar wants to say or wants to do in pursuit of what it is that we're trying to do here.
It's dad time.
Yeah, it's. I'm not going to say that. Let's talk really quickly about what the mission is. Azar, would you read the Unearth mission that y'all have chosen?
The Never aren't the only ones who can benefit from relics of the old empire. An Arcadian family fled east when the Omniculum fell, leaving behind much of their things. Get to their chateau and see if there's something useful. Of course, you're probably not the only ones interested in laying your hands on these things. Keep a sharp eye out.
What are we looking at if you win or succeed here?
Yeah, sure. Reward, +1 morale, which we desperately need, +1 exceptional asset, more on that in a moment, and +1 supply, which we also desperately need. And if we fail, that was Cravander from off-screen audibly salivating at the idea of more supply. And the penalties if we fail, -1 morale, which would be dang bad, and +1 pressure, which, that's all right. Pressure's fine.
Pressure is fine. This is what we're always saying.
Based off of how many dice we roll as ones, pressure's fine.
Exactly. Exactly.
Damn.
So we decided to spend some intel offline. There were a couple of weeks in between when we rolled this up and now. And we rolled some intel to get some more information about what it is that you would actually acquire at this place. Does someone want to read the unearthed intel that was gathered?
Sure. When Nira was chosen, her family swelled with pride, never letting Arcadia forget that the gods had smiled upon Chateau Norn. When Nira met a gruesome end in the Gods' War, she was buried at Moravida. But her kin insisted on laying claim to her battle horn. Years passed and glory faded. When the Omniculum fell, Nira's ancestors prized their lives more than their ancient trophies. The battle horn of Nira remains somewhere in the chateau, if it has not already been plundered. When Nira blew her battle horn, it filled the sky with a blast that echoed across the sky. Phantom horns would answer its cry from distant horizons. Whether this is a trick or something beyond or wild is truly answering the call, none can say. Asset properties. Whenever you blow the battle horn of Nira, its resounding blast creates the sensation of additional forces in different places around the nearby landscape. You may reduce pressure by 1 to a minimum of 0. This has no effect if used more than once in the same location. If you are in possession of the battle horn of Nira and do not use it at a location, all Arcadian members of the Legion take 2 stress. Additional item properties unknown. Spend 1 intel to discover it ahead of time.
What is the source of that stress?
Oh man, they didn't blow the horn.
Yeah.
Just some real hornheads over here.
I mean, the Arcadians literally are real hornheads.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yep. Yeah, it's
Is the battle horn of her horde?
It is now, absolutely.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's kind of brutal.
Yep.
Love to make a noise on a skull.
What is a voice but the noise from your skull?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Nira's skull just happened to be arranged in a different configuration because of gods.
Love those guys.
We should call singers skull noisemakers from now on.
We should.
You can safely and humanely remove horns from goats. Just saying.
Sure.
But imagine taking one of your own body parts and then turning it into an instrument that you play.
I'm thinking about it.
It's still pretty wild.
Like every skeleton aspires to play their own ribs like a xylophone. This is true across all cultures. It's like the flood myth. It's evident everywhere.
Listen.
Commander, you may ask the GM questions based on the current intel.
I was trying to figure it out. I'm pretty sure the one that we used to get that intel ahead of time was the one or more intel. What resources or benefits might we find at a specific location
Yes,
ahead?
that's correct.
So then in that case, I'm deciding between what is a specific broken researching, because then we could get some fun blooming on screen, or what news of the Cinder King, because it's been a while since we've heard from that funny old tongue. Any thoughts, players?
Repeat the two options.
What is a specific broken researching? And I'd ask about blooming, because blooming's been up to something and hasn't been on screen. Or alternatively, we know that Chara, what's her new name?
Whisper.
Whisper, thank you. I always forget. We don't know what Chara went to, so this could be a good way to figure that out. Alternatively, what news of the Cinder King? Because it's been a bit since we've heard from the tongue.
They're both pretty good options.
Also, the ever blooming is now the ever rotting, I believe.
Right. Rotting and Whisper.
I feel like if we ask what's up with the Cinder King, if we find out, we're not going to be happy.
I mean, I don't know if we'll be super happy about it.
What if he gave up? What if he just decided, like, nah.
I'm tired, guys.
Yeah, great podcast, everyone.
Yep.
This land is big.
Take a little 1,000-year nap. I think speaking it out, I'm most interested in hearing about what is a specific broken researching, and that broken being Whisper, given that all those fun collateral die, devil options, whatever they're called, that we took.
Sure.
Okay. Hey, Brendan, what's Whisper been researching?
What has Whisper been researching? So, y'all caught Whisper in the midst of a fair bit of shenanigans at Moravita, and you brought back a particular artifact, that weird red fire knife. That you've who has that in their possession, by the way?
I think Aoife had it, but
Yeah.
I don't know if she still does.
I mean, I don't think she would want to carry it around. She would probably relinquish it to somebody.
Sure.
Sarah Colley, probably.
Yeah. I can't think of who else could be trusted with a weird artifact.
I can think of a certain alchemist who'd be interested.
Absolutely.
When we said-
Interested
we said
versus trusted.
So I think I'm trying to figure out how you get to this conclusion.
I mean, it's some intel, right? So we could have gotten it from basically anywhere.
Yeah, well,
Somebody could come riding in on a horse.
oh, actually, no, I take it back. I know exactly who you got this from. And that is...
Is it Carla?
It is Carla.
Ooh.
Yep. Yeah.
Great.
Carla, yeah. I think Carla, however it is that you get it from her, and maybe that will answer that after I tell you what it is. But Carla just tells you. Maybe not just tells you, but Whisper is acting on behalf of the voice of the dead god to try and create more broken.
Ooh.
Because there's a lot of Zelsha'el out there. There's a lot of ground to cover. And there's only so many Never that can operate with wills of their own, that heed the command of the voice.
So the more broken we kill, the easier it'll be to retake Zelsha'el. Is what I'm hearing.
You just gotta kill some broken.
Yeah, go for it.
As one does.
Yeah, just gotta kill the most powerful beings in the mortal world.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
How do you get that from her? Does she does her will break after she finds out Lydia is dead? Does she...
I mean, she's on some determinism shit. Is it just a thing that she's like, no, this is just gonna happen,
Yeah,
so
that's true.
it doesn't matter whether I tell you or not?
Exactly. Yeah, that's absolutely it.
Can't do shit about it.
I was thinking maybe those two have gone back and have gone for tea and things like that.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And at one point she just says it because it's nothing to her.
Right. It's her telling the Legion that isn't going to stop it from happening.
Cool, great.
Uh-huh.
Thanks,
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one down. Good to know. Good to know that's what she's up to. We don't even know if the Never are on this mission, do we?
No, you do not.
We don't know a lot about Ruin's troops.
That's true as well.
I mean, we know there's grafted, those exist, and whatever the fuck came out of the house way back when. But yeah, it's been a minute.
Okay, I'm thinking about for the 2 or more intel question. What challenges or problems are inherent in a specific location ahead? Oh no, that would be a specific location ahead, so not here. In that case, what's the main weakness of the undead's position on this mission?
Because we're in a forest and they're all planty.
Yeah,
That would be good to know.
that's a good one. That's a good one. So, one thing I think that you've gleaned from the way the Whisper's troops were operating at the castle is that if they want to move in like deliberate formation is almost too strong a word, but with like very deliberate intention or purpose, it's extremely difficult just because of the way the forest is composed. The masses of Never are just really slow to a halt in that way. On the other hand, if they're just swarming a location, if they don't really care what it is that they're doing as they move or how fast they go as they do that, then they're really good at it because they can just trample through whatever it is that they're doing. In which case, they would be particularly vulnerable to attacks that take advantage of the fact that they probably don't have very strong leadership, or that, as you saw with the Operation Spicy Smoke, can somehow divert them in a drastic way.
Okay, good to know. I think, Gavin, you're playing Lance, so you're in charge of this mission, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so things to keep in mind for the leader of the mission, for sure.
It's wild that Lance is in charge of this next mission.
Yeah, it's great. We all love it here.
Fine. No
We all
problem.
believe in Lance.
The Legion punishes with great justice.
Okay, and then 0 or more intel. I think I'm going to do my standard for this one, unless anybody feels strongly otherwise. What would be a useful item to bring on this mission?
Love that.
I believe Vaughn gives you reliable intel that because the chateau was abandoned, it was not protected when enormous storms came through, and you have every reason to believe that it's collapsed in some way. So you might need either wrecking kits if you wanted to clear the path through, or maybe climbing kits if you wanted to traverse to a particular location.
Okie dokie.
Okay. Marshall, tell us who's going on this mission.
So, Lance and Kayo will be leading the Grinning Ravens. Waloot and Ashling are on the Grinning Ravens for this mission. 2 soldiers.
Outstanding. Who's everyone playing?
I'm playing Lance.
I'm playing Kayo.
I'm Waloot.
And I'm playing Ashling.
Excellent. Marshall, put together an engagement roll.
Are all on the mission OATHSWORN to the Legion? Yes.
Yes.
Does the commander spend 1 intel to give you foresight and info?
Nope.
Is everyone on the mission a specialist or soldier? No. Does any legionnaire distrust the leadership or not fear them enough to obey orders on the battlefield?
Yes.
What?
I don't think Kayo trusts Lance.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't think Kayo likes that Lance is here.
That's very fair.
Nice.
Are required specialists or equipment not on the mission? They are on the mission. Did the quartermaster send religious supplies to ward or protect the legionnaires? Take +1d. No.
No here.
Is any legionnaire starting with blight? No. We're rolling 0 dice.
Oh god.
That's fine.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a 1.
That's a 1.
You are in a desperate position when the action starts.
Mercy. I have a pitch. My pitch is that you start this mission captured.
Oh no!
Like we just
I love that.
smash cut and you're all like bound in a circle. Someone tell me how you get captured. What goes so badly wrong? How do you get outplayed here?
Trying to like approach, cautiously through the trees, and then it's like that thing where it's like, great, we're like approaching and they can't see us, and then it just like the camera zooms out some and we're surrounded because they're also trees, and we're like, fuck.
That's fun.
It is fun, although you don't get captured by trees, is the thing.
Oh.
It's just a recreation of that scene from Jurassic Park.
There's a lot of scenes. You're going to have to be more specific.
Clever girl.
I haven't seen that.
Oh
no.
I was going to suggest that Waloot's got glowing eyes now, right?
That's true.
Sure.
Maybe everything was supposed to be dark, and 2 pinpricks of light are enough to give you away. Or alternatively, they can just sense her.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's good shit.
Yeah. You realize, like, all too late that you are so encircled that when one of them says just where the boss said they'd be, they don't even feel a need to like obfuscate their position. They just emerge from the trees, brandishing weapons, pointing guns at you.
What do they look like?
They are a mix of folks. There's some Kaimorti and some Arcadians and some Tailos and some Mitzrayim, and they're all wearing Legion armor, and they're brandishing Legion swords and guns.
Phenomenal. I love it.
Wait.
These guys always kick our ass.
Uh-huh.
Well, this time we'll kick their ass.
Says Lance.
Says Lance in chains.
Says Lance then and gets knocked out.
It's a good thing that Aoife's not here. It would have been fucking on site with these guys for her.
And yeah, the Legion takes you captive and takes away all of your weapons, and binds you in, like, I think does that thing where like all of your hands are behind your back, but then they run a chain between those, so you're like linked together.
Mm-hmm.
And they bring you back to this manor, which indeed has fallen into disrepair. Probably pretty nice at some point. A lot of red tile, a lot of stone, probably some nice gardens at some point, but just it's not even so much the war has hit it yet. It's just met with some incredible storms, and it's been looted and plundered, and it is currently being used as a base of operations for a couple of squads from the other Legion. And let's see. I think this group brings you in and brings you to this person who's very clearly, if not in charge, is definitely one of the people in charge, who is this warrior. She's wearing like a combination of leather and chain, hair pulled back. She has this long sword. She just looks like, imagine like Geralt from Witcher, but gender swapped.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I have a particular this cosplayer whose name is Aelren, I think, who just did this incredible job. If I can just find it. And she looks you over and really just succinctly says, like, put him in the courtyard until the boss gets back. Bring me, and then looks over everyone and like looks at Lance and then looks at Kayo and points at Kayo and says, bring me the leader. I want to get some answers out.
Oh no.
Sick.
Clearly the buffest one is the leader.
I mean,
I don't think Lance speaks up, but if Kayo wants to speak up.
Now I think Kayo will go with it. I don't know what they're gonna say, hell, but like Kyle's like, yeah, I don't think Lance should be in charge of this either, so sure.
Okay, and a couple of guards like unlink you from the big chain and escort you like off to like a shed. Not a shed, not as ominous as that. Like the stables. I think the stables.
And we're like fettered with like iron. Like what is keeping us prisoner?
Yeah, you have good word, fettered. I think your arms are linked. Your arms each have a different pair of fetters behind your backs. And then through all of the links there, not all of the links, that's not true. Like you're sort of like daisy chained together in a big loop. So that you would have to both free yourself from that and free your hands.
Damn, I was hoping you'd say knots.
And
Alrighty.
are we like tied to a stake or?
No, I think you're just tied to each other.
Okay.
Thank you, Kris, in the chat. What's heavier, a pound of bricks or a pound of fetters?
Jesus.
Play to find out.
Okay.
And I think there's like, how many of you are there?
A lot.
6.
There's 6
If
of
Kayo's
you?
out of the room.
Yeah. So like you're outside. You're in, like, if you're looking at this image that I dropped in Miro, you're like literally like in this sort of like small stone clearing. I think there's 4 guards who are sort of like tasked with keeping an eye on you. And then around there's at least 20 more of these folks just like like milling around at this building. Some of them are milling around. Others are doing like camp stuff. Some of them are like preparing food. Some of them are taking care of the horses. Some of them are sharpening weapons, et cetera, et cetera.
I kind of want to. I want to pull. What's his name from Firefly? But I also personally don't know how to do that.
What's his name?
The captain. You remember how?
Oh,
Oh,
Mal.
Rollins?
Okay.
You know, remember how the captain had like been caught and guns trained on him and was talking to Jane and was like asking how he was being treated in the crew, what his cut was like, did he get his own bunk and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually just convinced Jane to turn on the rest of the crew and
I see.
join.
Okay.
And I want to do that, but I also don't know how to say that in character.
That's okay. Lance knows how to say that, even if you don't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just imagining the scene from Shrek. It's like, do you get dental? Oh, they don't even have dental.
Well, like the fun thing about them also being the Legion is like you have a direct comparison. It's just like, see, in the Legion, this is how we do shit.
Legion Prime, as I like to call it.
Sure. Absolutely.
Hey, kid, what's your name? I guess
Yeah, there's like
I-
like the nearest one is an Arcadian, probably like
Uh-huh.
18.
and I'm trying to angle for sway, I guess, because I have
think
more
it's-
dice in it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely sway out of the things that you have
Okay.
available.
Remember, you get a +1 to maneuver. So just argue everything as a maneuver roll
Sure.
today.
Yeah. I'm gonna cartwheel my way out of here. So this is desperate. This is
Yeah.
desperate limited to start. And I think they also have scale on you here because he's surrounded by his comrades.
Okay.
Hey, can we get a clock maybe on screen just so that we feel slightly less hopeless?
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to make this a group action, actually.
Oh, good.
I bet.
Christ.
Okay.
I want Waloot and Ashling and company to chime in about how great the Legion's doing right now.
Oh,
Yeah, I was stuck in a
gosh.
star and they brought me back.
Yeah, we brought Waloot back from the dead. What can you say?
You don't even have a chosen? Embarrassing.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, okay.
Let's roast them the way. All this just sounds like the way my extremely Zoomer sister roasts me.
It's working. Well, let's roll the dice
Unbelievable.
first to find out.
Unbelievable.
How many ticks is this convince them
That's
to
6.
be our friend? A 6? Okay. I'm going to lead this group action.
All right.
Okay. Group action.
Does this give us better scale?
Yes, this will negate the scale difficulty. It is still desperate limited.
Okay, I have
No.
lead from the front, which gives us additional scale.
Okay. So desperate standard.
Mm-hmm. Hold. You want help? Like, oh, right, you can't because it's a
That's
group
right.
action. Never mind. Right. Okay.
Nice. Does this also count multiple 6s as a crit? Like from different people? Okay.
I have 0 dice in this, by the way.
Great.
Yeah, me too.
Good.
It's more.
It's still better for Lance. So do what
It's
your
still
boss tells
better.
you.
It is still more dice. It is still more dice. It's just remember that it's take the lower.
Are you gonna push
We'll
yourself?
Except
put it
for
in the
me.
chat message.
Do you want to hear a devil's?
Yeah, sure. Give me a devil's option.
Your devil's option is I will introduce a clock for something that will arrive.
Okay,
All right.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
3d6 group action.
I think Ashling is like, I love the Legion. They don't make me fight weird whales and stuff.
That's right. Ashling's life was just dishonored before this.
Triple 5.
Yeah, so we get a 5. Desperate standard. I'll mark a resolve XP though.
Yeah,
Thank
you
very
will.
much.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great job.
Oh, me too.
Oh, do we all get that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you rolled.
All right.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
I mean, that's
Huh.
true for regular.
I thought that's
Is
how
it?
Forge in the Dark games worked.
Yeah, that's you.
I've just
true
never
for
encountered it
regular
as part
Forge
of
in
a
the
group
Dark.
roll before. Now I'm starting to think like, shouldn't I be rolling group actions all the time to grind XP?
In this game, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
In this game, especially with Tactician, like I'm going to try and make every action a group action.
Sure. Absolutely. Okay. So this kid, idiot that he is, like, starts listening and is like,
Oh.
I have been curious as to like what the situation is. I mean, just everyone was like not really battle ready when we were marching all the way out west, but like that seems cool. And like one of the other guards is just immediately like, "Hey, Tyre, leave him alone," and like gives Lance a look and says, "If you open your mouth one more time, I'm going to close it." This is a desperate mixed success, though. So a couple of things happen. One is I'm going to take this weird whale clock, which is a 4-step clock. I need to remember how Mira works. It's not actually a weird whale. I was just trying to scare Ashling. No, you know what? I think he says, keep your mouth shut. And then hits you in the face with the barrel of his rifle, Lance. Take the level 2 harm, sit down and shut up.
That's fine.
All right. Kayo, you get sat down on like a bale of hay. And this other, this Legion Knight like sits down on one, like across from you. Elbows on her knees. And is like, so, what are y'all doing out here?
Legion business.
Oh yeah, me too. Look, we do things different out here. It doesn't have to. You don't have to put up with things the way that you do. I know how it is. I know what the likes of the Marshal and Commander Azar, Board of Draknor, put you through.
Thing is, like, Kayo's not savvy, but like, because like I don't think Kayo thinks that they are savvy, right? Like Kayo's just like, well, let me game this person into. But at the same time, yeah, but like at the same time, like I do wonder how many like sort of no, I'm kind of listening kind of questions Kayo can get away with asking before it's clear that they're just like trying to see what's happening here, right? Because like this person has mentioned the boss a couple times, like, or is this person the boss?
No, she's mentioned the boss.
Yeah, so then like Kayo's just like, you got some kind of boss though. You mentioned them yourself. What's their deal?
She gives like this like grin. Like you can tell she's proud. And she's like, they're different. Boss is like a term of endearment. You'll see. Let's cut back to the others. What do you do?
So what is the nature of this clock again?
Which one?
The clock we're trying to complete to get out of this
It's
situation?
a great fucking question.
It was gonna try and be like convince this guy to betray his own legionnaires and join us in the Legion.
Which, to hand to God, you've made a third of the way progress through.
If we could interpret it more broadly, we could convince them to let you go could look like a lot of different things.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of question marks in the name of this clock. We can deal this all day long. I mean, preferably not all day long, but
Okay, well,
Can we make them afraid of Waloot?
let's put it this way, Tyre. If you leave us to die here like this, that's 6 fewer people who are fighting than never. Are those odds you really want to take?
and he like looks back and forth and looks at the other guard, who I think is like muttering to one of the other companions. Entire like hisses like, no one's leaving you to die. What do you think we are?
Oh, is that what they told you?
What?
Kid.
Sway.
I think it might actually be better if we roll consort, because everyone has one die in consort.
This is cute. I like this a lot. Yeah.
Ashling speaks up.
Uh-huh.
Oh, if you at least got some sympathy, my carabiner is like sticking in the side of my ass, and this is really uncomfortable.
So, math-wise, it is more likely for us to succeed on a sway, but I like the idea of doing a consort.
Yeah, I feel like this interaction feels consort.
Okie dokie.
Okay. Everyone rolls.
Same.
Desperate
What's the
limited.
devil option?
So just desperate limited scale again. The devil option here is they're going to bring in another guard, given that they're not sure if Tyre is up to the job. I don't think they're going to send Tyre away, but they're going to bring in a +1.
More people for Lance to convince.
I think, yeah, that's where this other guard that had hit Lance in the mouth is doing. He's like going off to find another soldier to like bring him over.
So we get scale again. Does that bring it back to desperate standard?
Yes, it does.
Okay, well, that's a 4.
Oh, so was the devil option taken?
That's a 6.
Oh.
The devil option was only for me.
Ah,
Oh, okay.
the
I
6,
guess
though.
everyone else could ask for devil options.
Yeah.
No fails.
Well, Luke,
No, it's fine.
you see into the eyes of this person and know their truth. What is it that you speak?
What do you see with your special eyes?
I mean, I think I don't know that her eyes work like that.
No, I'm speaking, metaphorically.
Sure. But I think maybe the success here is more like Waloot kind of looks like a chosen.
Ooh.
And so if she's like, hey, for sure they're gonna kill us, or leave us to die, I think that has a little bit that hits a little bit extra. That hits a little harder.
Sure. Okay, 2 more ticks on the clock.
Does somebody help Waloot with, or sorry, does somebody help Ashling with their carabiner problem?
Oh my god.
I think Tyre winces, but I don't think he's yet been convinced to like take action yet. Like I think he's sympathetic. If we do fill this clock, he will pull your carabiner out of your ass.
It says Skian on it, which is the name of my ship, which in my language means knife, and that's kind of what it feels like right now.
Eyes glaze over. 6, right? No consequences there.
Okay.
Ridiculous.
And no failures either, so I take no stress.
Kayo, what do you ask? What do you try and entreat from this person? Because if you're not giving answers, she'll probably just send you back with the rest. And
yeah, I imagine there's got to be some amount of like exchange of information.
I think she just says like, if you've got nothing to say, I'm sure I could find someone who can talk. Crosses her arms.
Yeah, I'm also not sure how Kayo says this. 'Cause
Sure.
Kayo's not a words person.
Right.
Looks at lack of resolve dots. But yeah, I think Kayo is like probably like has an idea of how much they can say without giving away too much. I would hope at least, like maybe that's part of a role. I don't know what that role is. But like Kayo does want to know stuff about like what's with this boss and what are you all doing here, right? Like how does Kayo ask, are you guys also here about the battle horn thing without asking, are you guys here about the battle horn? Because what if they're not? And what if they might be instead?
Yeah. I think this is a consort role. And it would be desperate standard.
Oh, that's bad. Okay. Well, I sure have 0 dice in that.
You got real Midwesterner there for a second.
That's what Kayo sounds like.
All the Talielos are just Midwesterners. Oh, I don't know.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh,
It
geez.
gets real high up here in the mountains, yeah. Aren't you see the chosen?
Just someone stoically looking out from a mountaintop, just glaring out at the sky, sees like a drip come down. Oh gosh.
Oh geez.
Oh, my stars.
Okay. Yikes. Okay. I could push myself, I suppose. I don't like doing that, but I could. I mean, I guess I would have to get any dice. No, there is no
Double
way I
option.
can make this a maneuver. Oh, yeah, that's true. What's one of those?
I'll tick this arrives clock.
How many times?
Just once. Just one innocent tick.
Worth it.
Yeah, I'll do that. I think I might also push myself, though, because 2 dice are usually better than 1 die. Famous last words. Okay, so 2 dice, desperate standard, consort. That's a
4's
4.
not bad.
That's technically
It's
a success.
definitely technically a success.
Mark some XP.
I
Yeah.
did. What fun.
What does she say? She says, I think like you allude to not the horn explicitly, but to like whatever it is that might be at this location. And she just, whether she picks up on it or not, she just seems to breeze right past it, where she's just like, I don't know what this place is, and I don't care. It's a place for us to take shelter before we keep marching. There's precious few places that we can find that's either not infested with never, or that hasn't had the doors bolted on without any hope of opening them ever again. And I think you can safely discern from that if she knows anything about the horn or anything else that's in Chateau Norn, then she doesn't care about it, doesn't want it. It's not on her agenda.
Okay. That's good to know. Super curious, super curious about, stuff they're just passing through. Where they're trying to get in such a hurry. I mean, yes, everyone's trying to get away from the West generally, but, they sound like they're moving with real purpose.
Unfortunately, it was stress at a cost.
Yep. Yep.
I'm going to introduce another clock. This is a
good.
6-step clock. This is question mark, question mark, question mark, exclamation point arrives. It is 6 steps, and I'm going to tick it 3 times.
Oh.
3 times.
3 times. Desperate
time.
consequence. You can resist this.
Would it be protecting people? Is it a bad thing if that shows up?
You know what? Fan of the players, it is a bad thing if that shows up.
What kind of resistance roll would that be?
I think this is insight. I think this is realizing that, like, no matter what the situation is here, this still isn't really a safe place.
You don't want to stick around.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay. Okay. Insight. So I got 2 dice in that. Backup says when I protect a squad mate, I resist with +1 die. And kind says I take 1 less stress on resistances for protecting other people. So I like 3
To be
6.
clear, this will reduce it from
Yes.
3 to 2.
Oh, 3 to 2. That's not a ton.
It isn't.
I might just leave that then. There's a Kayo, yeah, has a sense of just like, oh yeah, this is not a place that we want to like be spending a lot of time in. So yeah, Kayo is probably feeling that sort of like, you know, that tension where you're just like, I have to leave, and then you start looking around for like, now how do I do that? We gotta go. Now how do we go? Because also, yeah, everybody else is out in the courtyard. I don't know if Kayo saw exactly where that is.
Do you look back at the rest of them?
Oh, are they within
Yeah,
you?
you
Or
can
like,
see them. They're like, yeah. This is not an especially like, you know, it's kind of just like you're out in the estate, except you're taken prisoner.
okay, well, that's not so bad.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
She looks over there too and is like, who should I talk to next? Maybe the pretty one?
I think Kayo like looks over at the group and is like squinting, genuinely trying to figure out who she means by that. Just like, I don't.
Kayo with ace face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like, I really don't know who you mean. I don't know if it would be better or worse for her to talk to someone else. Me, Kris, is like, probably be more interesting if someone else was talking because I'm not good at that. But I don't know if that's what Kayo would think, right? Because like, I don't know if Kayo's thing is like, you know, well, depends. If you want to know anything, you should probably keep talking to me. Or if Kayo's just like, no, I want someone else to be dealing with the words part of this.
It'd be very funny if Kayo, who is like, yeah, I'll talk to you because I don't think Lance should be in charge, is now like, ugh, I hate this. Make Lance do this.
Yeah, Kayo's just like, oh right, this is his thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. But like, if we look outside, do we see like Lance like already talking to people? It's like, well, I mean, I guess he's
I think so.
already doing this. It's just that Lance is like such a fucking wild card.
Yep.
I think they're real worried about like, if Lance starts talking to this person, Kayo has no idea what's gonna come next, and that's really, really unnerving. Shoot, I don't know. Thoughts, Gavin? Do you want Lance to talk to this person? Oh, did we get a name for her also?
No, I don't think you've asked her name. She certainly hasn't introduced herself.
I think Kayo probably would.
I think her name is Girl Ralt.
The cosplay has defined herself as Geraltina.
They're
yeah.
both terrible.
I don't love that.
So if you tag me in, I can no longer do group actions that are at most 1 stress.
Right, true, okay. No, then it's probably...
But if you do tag me in, I could probably try and do what I'm doing with Tyre here on her. Or at least do some reverse interrogation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's take a step back from this. What are we as players most interested in seeing here? I'd like to get out of this situation because
Yeah,
we could
same.
dead end here for a very long time. So if we think about what's the fastest way to get out of this situation, that looks like probably filling this clock.
Yeah, and it's pretty close at this point, right? You're at what, 4 out of 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is, how do we make sure Kayo comes with? So what we could do here is something where Kayo it says like just points at somebody at random, like pick whoever you want. You can pick it Waloot. She's got weird glowing eyes. Maybe they'll be interested in that. And then as Kayo is coming back, Lance sees this and like puts charm into overdrive so that the timing works out that we can get free. We can get Kayo not bound to us because she was just talking to somebody, and we can get the heck out.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, if we can do this at some sort of like shift change moment where it's like they're tying up Kayo the same time they're untying me.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. I think that sounds good, right? Like,
Yeah.
maybe frame it as like, yeah, they both look outside, and this lady asks like who she should talk to next, and like Kai already sees that there's like, oh, Lance is talking to someone. If it is Tyre, if like Kayo can see Tyre, then they're just like, oh no, that kid doesn't stand a chance. Okay,
And maybe Lance makes eye
see
contact
another
with
people.
you, and it's like a pregnant moment.
yeah, where it's just like, okay, do I go with Lance here, even though Kayo like does not want to, but also this is a talking thing, and yeah, Lance is a lot better than that, so better at that. So yeah, I think Kayo will, try to stall. I guess is what they're doing effectively, is just like giving Lance enough time to finish whatever it is happening out there, so that way we like time this.
Okay.
Right? There's like some kind of signal where Kayo's just like, I don't know exactly what is on the other end of this, but like is going to go with it because Kayo's kind of floundering.
Sure. I think that's a roll. I think buying more time for yourself is a roll.
Is this a setup action?
Yeah, this is probably a setup.
Ooh, can it be? That's fun. Okay.
Yeah. Desperate standard. Sway seems like what's happening here.
Way? Oh, that's bad. Okay. That's a bad time for me. What's a devil's option?
Can I mean, you could do that, but you could also do a discipline with less effect, probably, which would look like trying to like pull rank on this person.
Sure, I like that. That's kind of funny.
Like, okay, sure, we're in different legions now, whatever. We were both originally in the same legion, and I'm pretty sure I outrank you.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Damn.
that's funny.
Because effect doesn't matter here. It is a setup action. You'll get, one bonus from a limited, who cares?
That's fun. All right, I'm down.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If that works for you, Brendan.
Yeah. Desperate limited discipline. I'm on board with that.
Okay. I'll roll a die.
do you still want to hear what a devil's bargain would be here?
Oh yeah, sure. I'll be extra scared.
The devil's bargain here is, I think someone else in this legion recognizes you.
Oh, that's so good, though.
Fun and bad. Yeah, let's have. It's Kayo's turn for a. Oh no, you. All right, sure.
Awesome.
I'll take that. That's 2d6. That's a 5.
That's a 5. Absolutely.
The technical.
Yeah,
success.
you managed to get
Mark
some more time out of her. And someone runs up to like report to her. And I think says we've got reports of Never on the far horizon. We don't know if they're closing in yet, but and then like stops short. And once he sees who Dorado the Adamant is interrogating. I don't know that this is someone that we've seen on screen before. Maybe it's someone that Kayo traveled to the Legion with originally.
Oh boy.
And it's someone you haven't seen since the sack of the Omniculum of Zur.
Oh boy.
Probably another Tailos.
Yeah, sure.
Uh-huh.
Is this not the person who Kayo thought of when they saw Whisper?
I was wondering about that, but I thought that was someone deliberately left
Oh.
behind pre-Legion.
Yeah, I think that was.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was someone who was just like,
Someone back home.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go be in the.
Right, but
Army,
irony
so
of
that-
ironies.
I mean, I'd be on
Oh.
board with that if Kris is on board with that. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's also bad. That's great. Right? Because Kyle's just like, well, at least they're.
Safe.
Hopefully, the Never aren't up in the mountains yet. And then this person's like, there's Never nearby. And Kyle's like, oh, that voice is familiar. Hold on. And then, like, actually pays attention. You know, when you have to, like, refocus your eyes because you're just like, yes, that's the shape of a person. And then, like, something kicks in. You're like, no, I need to pay attention to this person now. And then you do. And it's like, what are you doing here?
Back to the rest of the group.
All right, look, Tyre, I didn't want to.
Lance is somehow eating something.
Look, Tyre, I didn't want to say this, but the one on my left here, that's Waloot's starboard. Chosen of the god of stars.
What?
Jesus Christ, you're pious.
Yeah.
Waloot internally right now.
What? I didn't even know there was one of those.
Well,
Isn't that bad?
The gods of stars. Look, great question. What I know right now is that she's on our side, and you're consigning us all, including her, this chosen, to death by leaving us here.
I'd never consigned anything.
You're here, aren't you?
So are you.
Yeah, well,
I think he's about to start crying.
Tyre, look at me.
All
I need you to keep it together here.
right.
The only reason you were able to capture us is because our chosen let you, which means that y'all are important and we've got to work together here. Okay?
This sounds like I should talk to someone. This is
No, hey, listen. Pay attention, Tyre. Look at me. You got to let us go. We've talked it out. You know, our leader's talking to your leader, as it were, and whatever is about to happen, we need to be up and ready and not in chains, okay?
Give me a roll.
This is back to Sway, I think.
This sounds like it's just Lance.
Yeah.
I can help.
I'd like a helping
Sure.
die.
Yeah. I think a help
Um,
from Waloot sounds correct.
I think in that case, I'm going to do the first instance of marking corruption.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I don't know if we said this explicitly, like on screen on tape before, but Waloot is a soldier, but she has one special ability, different than a soldier's typical special abilities, and that is that she can mark corruption in place of stress.
Yeah. What does that look like?
I think it's unintentional.
Ooh.
Because Waloot has been adamant that she's normal.
Yes.
Hmm.
And so I think that she turns to Lance angry and her eyes flare up. Brendan, I had you watch one episode of BBB Battlefront, but I don't think you got to see any of the all-seeing eyes of the gods.
I saw that one guy talk to the burger friend, and he was in the opening credits.
Yeah, but he didn't have his funny, cool eyes.
He does in the credits,
Let me
yeah.
post a picture. Oh, okay. Let me post a picture in general for everybody.
I'm also picturing a little bit of that, like, Studio Ghibli, someone gets mad, their hair starts to floof up
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I was imagining that her eyes looked like supernova.
Ooh, galaxy eyes.
Yeah, but I think it projects. I think it's like this effect where it projects out from her
Uh-huh.
eyes.
Mm.
Wow.
Cool.
So it looks like it's hovering
Look at that.
in front of each eye,
Cool.
like a lens.
Into it. So you have that. You have the +1 from the setup action.
So what's the status right now?
It's still desperate, limited scale.
Okay.
So, yeah, apply as you see fit.
I'm gonna make this desperate standard and
Okay.
roll 3d6. And we're just trying to time this so that Tyre gets close enough to start doing something the moment that this leader is in the close enough to like get hit or something. I guess.
Yeah.
I was imagining this was going to turn into a group maneuver away.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to fight here. We don't have our weapons.
No.
Sure.
Okay.
That's 6.
There's a 6.
Ha
There it is.
Yeah, Tyre like loses it. Just undoes the lock that is like keeping all of your chains locked together. And is like trying to figure out if he's supposed to like go on his knees in front of Waloot. Is like looking back and forth trying to figure out like what Kayo, where are you? Or wait, no, Kayo. Yeah, Kayo. Kris, do you have an answer for us on this individual?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go all in on like, we've joked before that like Kayo and Nabane are like big siblings squad, big siblings. I think I'm just gonna go all in. This is like maybe not Kayo's actual like brother, but sort of like a little brother, like that kind of figure who's Kayo's just like, no, you and people stay here so you'll be safe, and I'm gonna go join the army. And then that the expression says what the fuck, but I don't think Kayo's actually saying that because they're too shocked.
Yeah, do you just like both like stare slack-jawed at one another as Kayo gets escorted back to the group?
Yeah, it's the getting escorted back to the group, but Kayo is like probably like looking back over her shoulder like, no, did I actually see that? Is that actually like trying to make sure both out of like, there's the like, oh my gosh, I never thought I'd see you again, and also like, I never wanted to see you here.
Do you want to think for a minute as to like what they are
Sure,
named?
I will go think of a name. Sure.
Just reverse it. It's Obeek now.
Obeek's a good name. I like Obeek.
Yeah, Obeek is fine. Okay.
Do you already have a face cast? Or just an idea of what he looks like? Because if not, I have a suggestion.
Please.
Harold Pinneru. Nope, that's not how you say it. Harold
Perrineau?
That's it.
Yes, that's
100%.
great. Fantastic.
How do you spell Perrineau?
Perrineau. He's Mercutio in Romeo and
fuck.
Juliet.
Oh, hell, Romeo plus Juliet.
Romeo.
I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that guy.
I think specifically the Mercutio look too.
Oh, wow.
Which one? He's got like 3 excellent looks in that film.
I mean, let's go down the list.
I think just like with the like just full head of twists is just good shit.
Oh, incredible.
Mhm.
Everybody in that story is so pathetic.
Yeah, that's the point.
Romeo and Juliet, baby.
Lucretia's just vibing and telling
I love
stories.
Tybalt. Tybalt's my favorite Shakespeare character.
Tybalt's a bitch.
Which of these people is Tyr?
God, good question.
The one in the back we can barely see.
That's Benvolio.
Tyr, I'm definitely thinking of as Andrew Garfield. Just like imagine a child that's as big as a spider. As big as a spider, just a tight. Oh, not even because he's Spider-Man, just because he's like a big lanky man. He's just so
okay.
lanky.
Yeah, I was just like,
I hate this man.
There's an episode of Doctor Who, I think from David Tennant's run, where Andrew Garfield plays. He's like, oh, hey, you're in this episode, and then you'll go on to be in bigger things, like Carey Mulligan in the one with the angels. And he's like a newsie in that episode, and that's that's the vibe I'm picturing. He's just a hapless newsie in like 1920s New York City.
Outstanding.
Or something like that.
I don't like
That's
this
fine.
man.
Well, he's you've adopted him now.
This is his dad.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful time. Like, what gets back to who's leading Kayo, or is someone escorting Kayo back out to the group?
A couple other guards. I think Kayo gets 2 guards on account of each of Kayo's enormous muscles.
Each?
One for
Excuse
each
me.
arm.
I
One
meant
for
to
each
say
arm.
arms. I meant to say arms. It came out as muscles. Kayo has more.
Kayo has 2 muscles.
2 left and
There
right.
are 2 muscles within you.
Kayo's built like a worm.
No.
Worms have more muscles than that. Pretty sure.
Hashtag worm facts. Kayo, you get back right as this poor hapless Arcadian kid lets loose the slack, and true to his word, pulls the strange implement out of Ashling's pocket, so it's no longer jabbing him in the ass.
Oh, thank you. Oh, it's a bit rusty, and I think I punctured the skin. I'm gonna have to go talk to.
And the guards escorting Kayo say, "Hey, what the hell?" Oathsworn is an actual play podcast created by
Devin Nelson.
Gavin Fregeau.
Kris Allison.
Matthew Guzdial.
and me, Brendan McLeod. All music for the show is created by Devin Nelson. Find it and more at devindecibel.bandcamp.com. Find a link to their music and any of the games that we've played in the podcast description. Follow us at OathSworn Pod on Twitter or OathSworn on co-host. Until next time.